Hey everyone, tonight we're starting with humanity's most beautiful obsession and most expensive folly, gold. From ancient kings' treasuries to the modern investor's portfolio, we've always fought wars, ruined empires, and given up everything for a shiny, soft metal that has no real practical use. Now, dim the lights and let's embark on this journey tonight, together. Neolithic era, when a man picked up a shiny thing in the river. Before civilization, before writing, before anyone knew why falling in a mud pile was so much fun, someone accidentally discovered gold. It was around 6000 BCE, in the Balkans, when a hunter or farmer bent down by the river to fill his water pot. And there, amidst the alluvial sand and gravel, something shimmered strangely. It was bright. It was heavy. It didn't decay, didn't fade, and no animal could eat it. All other stones were brown and dull. This was a stone that had swallowed the sun. That moment was the real aha moment of human history, not the invention of the wheel, not the discovery of planting seeds, but the moment someone saw a shiny object and said, "This is useless, but I want it." The first piece sparked curiosity. The second became a pendant. The third piece, hammered into shape, suddenly became a status symbol. Our prehistoric hero would wander around wearing it, perhaps explaining to his fellow tribesmen that it didn't help with hunting or growing food, but how magnificent it looked. It probably felt like touching divinity, which they might have told their friends before they all decided where else to find it. Congratulations, humanity, you have just discovered the concept of value. And a few generations later, greed too. Archaeologists later found thousands of gold pieces in 6,000-year-old burial sites at the Varna necropolis in Bulgaria. This is the oldest gold treasure in the world. It wasn't for utility, it was for power and the afterlife. It wasn't just a metal, it was the beginning of a tradition. Someone picked up a shiny thing, survived, and deliberately decided to get more of it. And thus the world's first luxury good arrived. The next morning, our ancient innovator woke up looking for more, knowing he had something that was rare and therefore invaluable. It wasn't just a metal, it was humanity's first social divider, a portable vacation from the reality of poverty long before there were taxes, laws, or neighbors to blame. So yes, while later civilizations built pyramids and wrote laws, the real beginning was here, a shiny stone, a bad decision, and a species realizing that sometimes useless things taste very good. Ancient Egypt, the flesh of the gods and Pharaohs' treasure. If the Neolithic era invented gold, Egypt turned it into religion. By 3000 BCE, the Nile Valley had mastered the art of incorporating gold into every aspect of life and death. Gold was not a luxury, it was a divine necessity. The Egyptians believed that gold was the flesh of the gods, especially of the sun god Ra. That's why their statues, sarcophagi, and funerary masks were covered in pure metal. Gold symbolized immortality. It didn't decay, just like the gods. This shows what the Egyptians' priorities were. They trusted gold more than their own bodies. Pharaohs and the nobility used it everywhere. It wasn't just jewelry. Crowns, weapons, furniture, and even utensils were gilded with gold. This wasn't because Egyptians lacked taste, but because they wanted to show they were descendants of the gods on earth, and gods liked shiny things. For the average Egyptian, gold was a distant, almost mythical idea. They saw it, but couldn't own it. Tutankhamun's mask, over 10 kilograms of 22-karat gold, is the ultimate symbol of the Egyptian idea. If you are king, you can even cover death in gold. Egypt also industrialized gold mining. Thousands of laborers toiled in the scorching mines of Sudan and Nubia, often without pay. only with the promise that their suffering would contribute to the Pharaoh's glory. Gold was not just wealth, it was the foundation of the empire. It also fueled trade with neighboring states. Pharaohs exchanged gold as gifts, making it the first international currency long before anyone knew what an interest rate was. So while Egypt gave us pyramids, papyrus, and calendars, it gave us something even more significant: the eternal truth that life is easier to bear when you can take this shiny, soft metal with you to the afterlife. Lydia, the sudden invention of currency. If Egypt made gold religious, Lydia, modern-day Turkey, made it practical and changed the world forever. By the 7th century BCE, a small kingdom in Asia Minor was about to solve civilization's biggest problem: trade. Before this, trade was difficult. Do you want my cow? You'll have to give me 250 handfuls of barley, a goat, and a good spear. It was cumbersome, and nobody wanted to carry 250 handfuls of barley. But Lydia had a secret weapon: the Pactolus River, where Electrum was found, a natural alloy of gold and silver. It was shiny, rare, and easily portable. Lydia's king, possibly Croesus, decided to do something revolutionary. He stamped small, standardized pieces of Electrum with animal heads, and thus the world's first coins were invented. This wasn't just trade convenience, it was a philosophical leap. Value was no longer in the cow or the barley. Value was now in a small piece of metal with the king's seal, guaranteeing this is gold. Suddenly, merchants could carry their life savings in a small pouch. King Croesus became so rich that as rich as Croesus became a proverb. He was the world's first capitalist, a man who empowered his country with a simple yet effective idea: everything's value can be measured by a piece of shiny metal. The Greeks quickly adopted it. Soon, gold and silver coins were being used for trade in Athens and Sparta, making it much easier to build empires and wage wars. Civilization was now liquid and portable. Lydia didn't just give the world money. It gave the idea that a universally agreed-upon illusion could be more powerful than the actual value of anything. So, while other civilizations were still debating which beer was best to drink, Lydia had already decided that the most powerful thing in the world was a soft, shiny metal you could keep in your pocket. It seems civilization doesn't truly begin until someone figures out how easily to ignore the need for barley.